I'm Anisha. To know more about my work, you may visit my website www.TarotbyAnisha.com. For those of you who are seeking deeper clarity in your love lives or in your career, for a personal consultation, you may write to me at TarotbyAnisha@gmail.com. Leos, it's quite an interesting month. We have a new moon in your own sign. We also have a lunar eclipse this month. We then have Saturn that is going direct this month. I've done a separate video on Saturn going direct. You may watch that separately as well. We begun the month, Leos, and it's your birthday month, Leos. Happy birthday. It's a time wherein Sun is coming and lighting up this particular part of your chart that is all about yourself. And this one, the focus is on relationships for you, Leos. It's a time wherein that you need to be opening yourself up more to happiness. You need to be opening yourself up for love. It's a time of evaluating the kind of love that you want, the kind of love that you want to attract in your life, and the kind of person you want to be. And it's a time where you will be feeling quite energetic, and you could be thinking about as to how it is that your own personal habits or your own conditioning affects others. You could be evaluating your own conditioning, your thought patterns, your behavior. It's a time wherein that you could also be looking at concentrating on putting your best foot forward in the world outside. And for some of you, you know, it is not that you will not get noticed, but then more onto the external bit of it as to what is it or how it is that people are perceiving you. It's a time of self-work, Leos. It's a time wherein that you need to be sort of re-evaluating that how it is that you want the world to perceive you. What are the changes, what are the transformations you need to be making in your own life? And it is, of course, it's not the time that you have to sit and reveal all of yourself to others or be absolutely vulnerable, but it's a time wherein that try not to sort of act on your impulses. Give some thought to your actions around this time. And it's a time also to be brave. It's a time to enjoy new experiences as well. We have Mars that is joining Saturn, and Saturn is there in Sagittarius, and this is aspecting your house of love, romance, creativity, and children. And Saturn takes about 28 to 29 years to complete one circle, and it spends about 2.5 years in each house, ensuring that we have done our work well. And now Mars coming out here and galvanizing, it is talking again about relationships. It's talking about, and Saturn is all about work. It's about effort. And Sagittarius is about expansion. So there could be a tussle, a fight between freedom of doing things your way, wanting to go ahead in life in your way, wanting things on your terms. And Saturn over there is creating limitations. Saturn is asking you to reevaluate. Saturn is asking you to discipline yourself as far as your emotional boundaries are concerned. And you may just feel as if that your ego has come up for inspection. There is a need to sort of get validated externally. So the Saturn is trying to tell you over here, or teach you rather, this month, Leos, is that try not to seek that validation of happiness from outside. A lot of focus is there on self-love, a lot of focus is there on self-validation. Try not to seek it from outside, because it will be quite fruitless over here. And it's also it's also a period during which that issues around how deserving you are of love could get cropped up around this time. And some of you could feel unloved, ignored, or unappreciated around this time. And the lessons that you need to be learning from this transit is that you need to be taking pride in yourselves, Leos, and try and sort of differentiate that between the ego and the self-love or the pride. There's a very, very, very fine line over there. So try not to get confused over there. And also try not to look outside of yourself for the ego strokes that are there. They can be even through in love relationships, at times we expect that validation or that applause that may come to us, that, oh, I've suffered so much in love, or I've done so much, or I'm the one who's compromised. So try and keep your ego in check. And this entire Saturn direct going below it, and it's facing that resistance from Sagittarius, because Sagittarius is about exploration, it's about freedom. It's saying that just do what your heart wants you to do, just go all out and be the way that you want to be. But Saturn over here is trying to not just teach you a lesson, but it's trying to make you be aware of the consequences. And it's saying that, maybe there is freedom over there, but then it's at a huge price. And are you willing to pay that price for that freedom? And so that is something that you need to be very carefully be evaluating. Around end of the week, we have Venus that is going and joining Mercury and Jupiter that are there in your house of earned income. And Venus feels quite at home over there in this particular house, because Venus is also about love, beauty and money. And there can be some amount of restlessness when it comes to money, or when it comes to spending it. And you could be more inclined to spend more money, generally, whether you're beautifying your house or you're just making yourself feel better. So try and while it is good to do some amount of retail therapy to have that self-validation and make yourself feel better, but try and put a budget in place as well. And try to also try to be in a place where you are balancing both. You're balancing your financial matters or your personal, whether they are personal goals or the personal validations that you may be requiring this time. It's quite a stable position as far as love matters are concerned and close relationships, because you could be quite driven to make things work as well during this time, Leos. And you could be I think you are going to be placing a lot of value on people whom you love, and you would want to make them comfortable. Maybe there's just a need for you to be contributing more, and for those of you who are looking for another job, or who are trying to increase the income, it's a good time as well. Try not to somehow associate how much money or material wealth you have with your own sense of self-worth, because this house is also about self-worth. It is how it is that you perceive yourself, that how it is that people are viewing you. So don't get too caught up in that, Leos. Don't worry too much about what people think and how people think. We have a lunar eclipse that is there around the 18th, and this is there in your house of relationships and your marriage. And it's now lunar eclipses are fairly very potent, and they're very emotional, because it's like a closure. It's like something which is coming to an end, and or maybe there's a sense of a realization that's happened. And because this is about partnership, it can be at work, it can be your marriage, it can be in your personal closest relationships or partnerships. It's a time that you will be evaluating and seeing whether everything is okay as far as your partnership or your marriage is all right. And if it is still not working all right, a lot of you could choose to sort of walk away from it during this time. Or if you choose so, you can bring your relationship to a much more deeper level during this time. And if you're dealing with people who treat you as an equal, you may sort of want to stand back and let them have a say, let them have the spotlight, and try not to get into an ego war. And especially in business situations, if you've been working with a partner who's been trying to who has been working equally hard and is maybe looking at that accolade, your business partners enjoy that accolade, that credit that he or she would be seeking. It's also a time that for those of you who are single and who have had an eye on someone, could be feeling quite intensely about it, and you could want to sort of jumpstart a connection immediately. And some of you, of course, could find it quite hard to express exactly how it is that you feel. Leos, it's a good time to be negotiating for those of you, especially where relationships has been slightly rocky. And if there is a compromise that is there in place, then that is something that you should evaluate, specifically if it suits both of you. It's also a time, this house is also of open enemies, so you could find a lot of criticism that comes your way. You could just even be taken aback or taken by surprise at the hostility that just sort of comes openly that your way, and maybe some friends or extended family could be quite critical about how it is that you are leading your life or how it is that you have led your life. So try and sort of stay balanced over here, and try not to take things not just personally, but look at them with the sort of a detachment, and see whether the compromise that you're trying to work out in a relationship, it is there for the longer haul. It is not just sort of a quick fix solution for you. On the 23rd, we have Sun that is joining the rest of the planets, that is Venus, Jupiter and Mercury, that are there in your house of earned income. And Sun in this house, it is going to make you focus on your material wealth again. And you may try to work out your finances, and you may feel as if you have more money than you may actually have. And try and sort of do some extra work. For those of you who have been thinking of maybe picking up another job, or who freelance or think that you have enough time to be picking up another project, to do so. It's a great time to be generating more money for yourself, or to be able to create as well. And having a more disposable income around this time will make you feel more secure as well. You're going to feel more grounded, you're going to feel more anchored, knowing that you have that kind of money or resources that you can tap into. You also could be in quite a grounded and quite a practical space towards end of the month as well. And you could be not wanting to rock the boat as well. Try and be a little bit careful about the money, Leos. Try and do a budgeting exercise. Try and see whether you can sort of draw a balance between what is it that needs to get spent and what is it that needs to get saved. It's not really the best of months wherein that you can go outside and you can splurge completely. Now when Sun transits this particular house, the focus also comes on the self-worth. So try not to equate yourself with too much that has to do with your own ability to earn money or your own level of competency. Try not to sort of feel worthy by the amount of material wealth that you have, Leos. And also don't try to sort of seek it outside of you. It's really, this month is really about self-love. It's about pride. It's about being true to yourself, and without the ego really being at play. So try and keep that in mind. Don't get confused between the ego and don't get confused between the self-love. That's a very, very fine line. Around the 31st, we have Mercury that is going retrograde. So August is really a great time to be signing all contracts. It's a good time to be buying a big ticket item. It's a great time to be negotiating, communicating, doing all the important meetings, because beginning 31st August to about 23rd of September, when Mercury is going retrograde, you can expect a lot of delays and again some confusion around communication as well. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, Leos. Again, I wish you a very happy birthday. Have a lovely month. I'll see you again soon, and thank you so much for watching.